Today, we're taking 60 Sony Playstation characters and running them through the Squid Game.
Welcome to the Squid Game. We're excited for everyone to play.
Today's roster of contestants is as follows: Crash Bandicoot, Coco Bandicoot, Dr. Cortex, Spyro the Dragon, Hunter, Ripto, Sweet Tooth, Solid Snake, Raiden, Cloud, Sephiroth, Parappa the Rappa, Rayman, Jill Valentine, Leon Kennedy, Lara Croft, Sir Daniel Fortesk, Zarok, Toro Inouye, Spike, Jimmy, Spectre, Sly Cooper, Bentley the Turtle, Murray the Hippo, the Prince of all Cosmos, Jax, Daxter, Kiara, Baron Praxis, Ratchet and Clank, Dr. Nefarious, Kratos, Atreus, Zeus, Nathan Drake, Noriko, Sackboy, Vex, Colonel Mail Radic, Fat Princess, Joel, Ellie, Cole McGrath, Monokuma, Junko Enoshima, Monomi, Cat, Raven, the Hunter, Spider-Man, and Miles Morales, Sam Porter Bridges, Astro, Jack Frost, Makoto Yuki, Yu Narukami, Ren Amamiya, and the most iconic Persona character ever, Takayuki Kyuchi, aka the Subway Slammer.
The following are the ground rules in this Squid Game. Number 1, no outside allies or sidekicks. 2, no outside weapons, with the sole exception of any equipment needed to survive. Number 3, no magic. 4, natural abilities are allowed. The first game is red light, green light. You may move forward when it shouts green light, stop when it shouts red light. If your movement is detected afterwards, you will be eliminated.
Speed, composure, and general athletic ability are the most important skills in this round. Now, first off, didn't Rayman get caught by the Rabbids and forced to participate in childish games, including red light, green light? It seems like this will be an easy win for him. Spike and Jimmy both have experience in carefully waiting to strike and catch monkeys, so the two of them will be safe as well. Sly Cooper and Bentley are two thieves who are well capable of keeping a cool head and helping each other out when the going gets tough. Despite their undead appearances, Zarok was capable of keeping up with Sir Daniel, even if he died in the end, so diverting their attention away from each other to a game of red light, green light would be easy. And then there's the characters who are well accustomed to seeing blood. Joel, Ellie, Mel Radic, Kratos, Jill, Leon, the Hunter, Junko, Monokuma, and even Monomi will survive. Given the nature of the deadly killing game Monokuma and Junko run, and Monomi tries to stop. Still, the three will be confused as to why the blood is red here instead of the pink that they usually see. Sackboy, the Prince, and Astro may be smaller, but Sackboy and Astro are platforming experts, and the Prince is capable of sprinting across the world while pushing a giant ball, so he's safe. Especially considering he doesn't have to worry about pushing the Katamari. And on the topic of platforming stars, Crash, Coco, Cortex, Spyro, Hunter, Ripto, Jax, Daxter, Nathan Drake, Lara Croft, Cat, Raven, Ratchet, and Clank are guaranteed safe. And it goes without saying that Peter Parker and Miles Morales are also safe thanks to their spidey senses. But now let's talk about our eliminations. In the Squid Game, precision is everything. One wrong move and you're eliminated. But what if I told you there was a way to upgrade your precision when playing your favorite games? That's where today's sponsor, Control Freak, comes in. Control Freak's performance gaming gear provides the ultimate in-game advantage by improving your aim, grip, comfort, and control. Let me show you some of my favorite controller upgrades. The Control Freak aim boost kits are the ultimate way to upgrade your accuracy, perfect for those fast-paced FPS shooters. It combines performance thumbsticks and precision rings to improve aim accuracy and control. The thumbsticks add height for a larger arc and finer movements. The mid-rise thumbstick improves in-game movement on the left analog, and the high-rise thumbstick increases accuracy on the right. All while the rings provide resistance and stability, letting you play with higher sensitivity without overshooting. The Control Freak no-slip thumb grips are the perfect all-around upgrade for your controller. Made from ultra-soft, no-slip material, they give you better grip, comfort, and control that holds up even during the most intense matches. The durable rubber won't tear when stretched, and they come in a variety of colors. I love them because they're comfortable and they prevent blistered thumbs. These ones are compatible with PS4, PS5, and Xbox controllers, and they also make a handheld gaming edition that's compatible with Steam Deck, ROG Ally, MSI Claw, PlayStation Portable, Switch 2 Pro, and Joy-Cons, and more. Control Freak is used by pro gamers all around the world, so go to controlfreak.com and get free shipping on orders of $25 or more. Thank you again, Control Freak, for sponsoring us today, and for enhancing our gaming performance with your awesome controller upgrades. While the losses in this round are limited, the one to kickstart all the bloodshed will be Zeus. He might be the god of gods, but he got caught moving during a red light trying to flirt with a female guard.
Player eliminated.
For a cowardly elimination, we have the third Cooper Gang member, Murray. While he did grow a spine in the second game, he would be more likely to charge the guards to protect his friends, even if he dies in the process.
Player, you have been eliminated.
And this may not be a subway, but a long stretch of land where he can push people aside is home sweet home for the subway slammer himself. This red light green light playing room is his for the slamming. Even if he only targeted women in a life or death situation, he can expand his reach. As for any victims of his slamming, Sam Porter-Bridges' entire deal is traversing through terrain and maintaining balance. We can see him getting stirred just before the light turns red and falling, triggering the motion sensor.
Player eliminated.
Toro Inoue a big fan of Sony, so they'd be more than happy to try to coach others to survive, using their powers, but unfortunately the Subway Slammer didn't care and just pushed him aside.
Player eliminated. 56 players remain. Let's move on to the next game, Honeycomb. Players must cut out the shape from their cookies. Those who break their cookie or run out of time will be eliminated.
Patience, steady hands, and dexterity will come in handy here, as will general resourcefulness and creativity. Coco and Cortex are both excellent inventors, so working on a small-scale project like this is a walk in the park. And Coco is more than happy to help her big bro Crash with his cookie when he sheepishly asks for help. And on the topic of getting help, we have Kat helping out Raven with her cookie, knowing how she can get heated easily. Likewise, Jax and Kira will offer to do Daxter's cookie for him, and Spyro's lack of thumbs would normally spell his doom if it weren't for Hunter being ready to help his buddy carve out his shape. Ratchet, Clank, and Dr. Nefarious are technological whizzes, so carving a cookie carefully is well within their wheelhouse. Likewise, Bentley is not only skillful enough with his hands to clear this, but also helps Sly clear it as well. Rayman had no trouble, as his hands don't have to worry about limbs tensing up, and Cole's lightning powers would be able to heat the cookie enough to ease the carving process. Monomi's entire gimmick in her minigames in SDR2 is carving shapes into the ground, so carving a cookie would be a step down. Junko and Monokuma would be more than happy to find a way to knock her off balance to break her cookie, but they need to cut their cookies first, giving Monomi enough time to safely pass. The Prince, Sackboy, and Astro are a trio of small, crafty beings, so they'll have no problem. While not as small as them, Vex was still able to create the nightmarish reality warping device, the Topsy-Turver, so he's also safe. And then of course there's the sword or sharp blade users who can easily win, those being the Persona protagonists, the Hunter, Noriko, and Kratos, especially knowing he has to take care of Atreus as well. And on the topic of dads, Joel and Ellie would both be able to take their time, even if Ellie has questions as to how Joel is even here after going golfing with Abby. For those who fail, Fat Princess, unfortunately, just loves sweets way too much to take this seriously. She would have eaten her cookie before the rules were even explained.
Player eliminated.
Needles Kane ate a cookie as well and had the gall to ask for seconds, but the guards were just way too scared to deny him his wish, but asked if he could just please leave after they gave him a full basket.
Player, you have been eliminated.
Now for those who would break their cookie, Sir Daniel Fortesk may be a heroic skeleton sword fighter, but his skeleton body being one that can easily be moved around, he's one loose bone away from his cookie getting broken. And what do you know, the Subway Slammer struck again by knocking against him as he went to go deliver his cookie to the guard.
Player eliminated.
Ripto may have the dexterity to carve, but he certainly doesn't have the temper. Seeing Spyro somehow pass the round without seeing that Hunter helped him, Ripto would be so angry that he would scream, "Yeah!" and crush his cookie in his hands.
52 players remain. It's time for our next game, Six-Legged Pentathlon. The rules are as follows. Players will split up into groups of 5, tie their legs together, and move in tandem around a track. Every 10 meters, one player will play a mini-game until it is completed, with each member playing once. The goal is to complete all games in the allotted time, repeating each one until it is complete.
So here are the mini-games. Diaki, throw a paper tile at the ground to flip over another paper tile. Flying Stone, throw a small stone at another small stone to knock it down. Gongi, a traditional game of Korean jacks. Spinning Top. And Jeggy, kick a Jeggy in the air 5 times in a row, kinda like hacky sack. Balance, composure, and general gaming prowess are important characteristics for this game, but arguably most important is teamwork and the ability to put together a good team. This will be the point in the games where alliances and teams start to be formed. For people who already have a part of some group or team, we have Crash and Coco, Spyro and Hunter, Spike and Jimmy, Snake and Raiden, Jack, Daxter and Kiara, Ratchet and Clank, Kratos and Atreus, Joel and Ellie, Kat and Raven, Jill and Leon, Peter Parker and Miles Morales, and even those within the same franchise like Makoto, Yu, Ren, and Jack Frost just need one teammate. Despite their bickering, they still want what's best for each other. Heck, even the villains would know to be friendly to survive. Cortex and Dr. Nefarious have previously teamed teamed up with their heroes, with Cortex doing it multiple times, like in Twinsanity and It's About Time, and Dr. Nefarious and Ratchet and Clank all for one, so they can side with their heroes once again to save their skin.
With my mighty intellect and your vacuous stupidity, we'll be unbeatable!
Or metal in Nefarious's case. And with so many duos and trios, we also have a fair number of options for solo picks to fill those spots. Monomi is perhaps the nicest individual here, so she'd be an easy pick for any team, and would warn others about how dangerous Monokuma and Junko are. Cole can work within the lines as the hero he canonically is, even if he can take an evil route. Cloud may be moody and edgy, but his heart always ends up in the right place. Parappa may be the oddest pick here, being paper thin, but with how he keeps believing in himself, he was able to wrap his way this far in, and can help any teammates pass their goal. You just gotta believe. And Nathan Drake and Lara Croft are more than charming enough to talk their way into just about any group. Thanks to Monomi, many players were well aware of just how nasty Junko and Monokuma are, but they were still able to find teammates with Sephiroth and Takayuki. But before the equally evil Vex could join them, that last slot got filled by Rayman. Yeah, not having any legs to tie together is a bit of a problem, so Rayman knew not only would he get eliminated this round, but since he can just turn into blue lumps, he can just leave through the air vents and regenerate outside. So why not take some villains out as well? Despite their protests, the guards recognized them as a proper team. Since they were disqualified for not being able to get Rayman tied properly, the Subway Slammer, Sephiroth, Junko, and Monokuma were eliminated, as was Rayman.
Players eliminated.
Who was revived outside by the power of the blue lumps, and had a nice stroll outside after escaping. Spectre was able to save Vex by inviting him to his group with Baron Praxis, Colonel Mal Radek, and Zarok, but warned him to play into Praxis and Radek's idea of a utopia where their cruelty is necessary. The player who just couldn't find a team before the end was Noriko from Bloodborne, because out of the remaining combatants, she's the most antisocial.
Player eliminated. 45 players remain. Our next game is Mingle. Here are the rules. Players will stand on a rotating platform in the center of a large circular room. At any given moment, a number will be called out, at which point players have 30 seconds to get into groups of said number and secure a room for themselves. Any player who does not find a room with the correct number of players will be eliminated.
Speed, composure, and ruthlessness are your best friends in this round. Which characters are physically able to make sure they get a room, and which ones would actually do what it took to go through with it? Spyro doesn't want to lose Hunter, so he just told him to get on his back as he charged into room after room, inviting anyone else needed in to fill the number, and headbutting anyone over the limit. Likewise, Cat and Raven were great at working around ever-changing gravity, so they could bounce back from any pushing or shoving coming their way. With Snake, Cloud, and Raiden's expert soldier skills, they're able to sneak into any room needed to survive. Likewise, Joel and Ellie killed so many people in the name of protecting and avenging others that this challenge will be no sweat for them.
Okay.
And Kratos and Atreus are basically just that on a godly scale, meaning they're more than fine. Parappa may not be known for fighting, but his paper aesthetic means he can just slip past the crowds and slide into a room. Lara Croft and Nathan Drake have the fighting power of Joel and Ellie, and the sneakiness of Snake and Raiden, so they'll be able to sneak into rooms and fight others when needed. The three Persona MCs and Jack Frost can coordinate together to survive for any number, and even past the dreaded 2-round. As for fallen individuals, Zarok may have been happy seeing Sir Dan bite the dirt pile again, but without being able to use his magic, and being practically a walking corpse himself, he's not long for this game either.
Player eliminated.
We can see Jill and Leon stick around him for any rounds where an extra player is needed, but when they need to cut someone, they're more than happy to push this over 100-year-old back underground. Jimmy and Spike get eliminated too, and you can thank Spectre for that, pointing them out as easy kids who can't fight back, meaning the other villains were capable of grabbing them when they needed an extra for their room, and tossing them out when it was full.
Players eliminated.
Vex knew that the chance for safety was thinning out, meaning he would have to be facing others soon, so he hatched a plan based on what he had heard from Spectre to make others work for him. He told Praxis and Radek that each other's visions for an ideal world was less aligned than they thought, sat back and watched the fireworks of Praxis body-checking Radic out of the room.
Player, you have been eliminated.
When that deadly 2-round comes up, it was time for trios to make a decision. Ratchet and Clank were more than capable of knocking Dr. Nefarious out of the room and locking him out when the number 2 was heard.
Player eliminated.
And the Prince was able to quickly Prince Dash his way from his group with Sackboy and Astro to quickly snag a room with him and Bentley to survive the wave after Sly almost lost him. So that's another trio still going strong. But with Jack, Daxter, and Kira, that happy ending streak ends now. With not a lot of time to decide, Jack tells Daxter to keep Kira safe before starting to walk out, only for Daxter to stop him, giving him a speech about how if he's gonna die, Daxter is gonna die with him. Jack was about to explain how Kira needed someone to stay with her to stay alive, leading Daxter to reveal that he knew and was just stalling him out, closing the door on Jax and Kira as he sacrificed himself, with his last words being, "Name one of your many kids after me."
Player, you have been eliminated.
Cortex was already planning to backstab Coco and Crash. That said, Crash, with a big heart for both his sister and enemy, who he sees as his father since he created him, actually proved to be more than just a mindless buffoon and walked out to close the door and save Coco and Cortex, even if it meant dying himself.
Player, you have been eliminated.
This move stunned Cortex, who really wanted him dead, but at the hands of an elaborate trap that he made, not with a sacrifice. And finally, Minomi was close to getting knocked out, being willing to sacrifice herself to let others survive. However, Cole felt that this world needed her more than him, and gave her to the 2 Spider-Men here to have them protect her. And once the 2-round popped up, Peter was more than willing to leave Miles with her and sacrifice himself.
Players eliminated. 36 players remain. It's time for the next game, Hide and Seek. Players will be separated into 2 teams, Hiders Blue and Seekers Red. Seekers will be given a knife with the requirement of killing at least 1 hider within the time limit. Hiders will be given one of 3 keys, gaining access to various doors and hiding places throughout the arena. They must either find a 3-keyed exit before time is up, or simply stay alive for 30 minutes.
For this game, roles are selected randomly, and players have a few moments to swap teams if they choose, but only if 2 players mutually agree. With that said, here's how we think the teams would pan out. The hiders include Snake, Cloud, Parappa the Rapper, Jill Valentine, Laura Croft, Sly Cooper, Jack, Baron Praxis, Ratchet, Clank, Kratos, Nathan Drake, Sackboy, Joel, Ellie, Minomi, Miles Morales, and Astro. And the Seekers include Coco, Cortex, Spyro the Dragon, Hunter, Raiden, Leon Kennedy, Spectre, Bentley, the Prince of All Cosmos, Kiera, Atreus, Vex, Cat, Raven, Jack Frost, Makoto Yuki, Yu Narukami, and Ren Amamiya. Hiders will want stealth on their side, but if they run into a Seeker, they'll either need the speed to outrun them or the strength to defend themselves. Seekers will need strength and speed for obvious reasons, but also sheer brutality to eliminate their victim. Miles Morales' spider sense would be key for him here, allowing him to quickly dodge any Seekers wanting to kill him. Snake is more than capable of silently making his way to the exit without anyone even realizing he was part of the team. Utilizing their small size, Astro and Sackboy can simply hide this round out. That said, Vex was able to find them, thinking he had a chance since Sackboy was powerless, but fortunately Sackboy and Astro were able to team up and defend themselves, as Vex's knife just wasn't enough to cut it.
Players eliminated.
Sly Cooper is an expert at sneaking around, and because he knows his partner Bentley needs to find a kill, he's more than willing to trip up Nathan Drake to make sure Bentley stays safe for the next round.
Player eliminated.
Similarly, Jack and Kiara need to kill someone, so why not the enemy he hates so much that he broke his silent protagonist role just to make his first words the edgiest thing possible?
I'm gonna kill Praxis!
He may not be doing the deed himself, but Jack holding Praxis down by the door for Kiara to kill is good enough.
Player eliminated.
Seeing this commotion take place, Clank was able to pinpoint the noise and heard talks from Kiara about where the exit was. And with Ratchet, the 2 were able to sneak past. Knowing Atreus is a Seeker, Kratos won't hesitate to try to see if he can get another hider to give their life for him. Unfortunately, before he could find a willing sacrifice, Ellie spotted Atreus trying to take down Joel and managed to fight against him, stealing his knife and cutting down Atreus in self-defense.
Player eliminated.
Right in front of Kratos. Yeah, welcome back, God of War. And goodbye, Ellie.
Player eliminated.
Minomi was cornered by Spectre, but by sheer luck, she knocked his helmet off, reverting this smart villain to his original unintelligent monkey self. Confused by this development, Minomi took this monkeyfied Spectre with her, gave him to the guards after escaping, and asked them if they could take care of him, to which they decided the best thing they could do was send him to the nearest zoo.
Player eliminated.
Parappa is known for many things, but being stealthy or observant is not one of them. The prince had no trouble using the knife as if it were a katamari and ripping the paper wrapper to shreds.
Player, you have been eliminated.
And that just leaves 3 hiders: Cloud, Jill Valentine, and Lara Croft, and a whopping 12 Seekers left. They're all just humans without any weaponry, so only the stronger and colder Seekers left will be able to move on, if they can catch them. So Spyro and Hunter and Cat and Raven are definitely out.
Players eliminated.
They're heroes, and also unlikely to want to leave their friend behind. The 3 Persona MCs have a team to get back to, but will they be willing to do the deed? Not really, as killing to save themselves goes against their beliefs.
Players eliminated.
Jack Frost, however, decided to sneak on through to silently pick off Lara Croft.
Player, you have been eliminated.
Coco's been feeling down ever since her brother sacrificed himself, and
Player eliminated.
while he felt bad about it, Cortex still wanted to save himself, so he was able to catch up to Jill Valentine and Leon Kennedy, who were having a dispute over whether he should kill her to save himself, and Cortex broke the deadlock by just killing Jill himself.
Players eliminated.
And that leaves just a showdown between Cloud and Raiden. Between the two, Raiden not only has a knife to fight Cloud, but has taken down some pretty gigantic and ridiculous feats in the past. I mean, even Cloud had to rely on magic, equipment, and teammates to beat Sephiroth. Sorry, Cloud, but Raiden is just a cut above you.
Player eliminated. 17 players remain. It's time for the next game. Marbles. You will play the game of your choice with your partner. The player to take all 10 marbles wins. The loser will be eliminated.
Players pair up in teams of 2. However, it's revealed that they'll be playing against each other, meaning your opponent is likely the person in the game closest to you. You can play a game of luck or a game of skill. You can play fair or you can play dirty. But one thing is for sure, whoever you're teamed up with is going to have to be eliminated in order for you to move on. And with all the players paired up, our lucky safe pick for this round is the Principal Cosmos, being so small that most remaining contenders just didn't see him. First up, Cortex versus Jack Frost. Jack is way too childish and playful for his own good. Cortex may not be as smart as he thinks he is in regards to other smart characters like Eggman or even Junko, but he's definitely crafty enough to trick Jack.
Player eliminated.
Next is Snake versus Raiden, and Snake at this point in his career is just tired, so sacrificing himself to save Raiden is an ideal way for him to go out.
Player, you have been eliminated.
Then there's Sly versus Bentley. Bentley got insanely far for someone stuck in a wheelchair. Facing the fact that only one of them can survive, Bentley knows Sly has a lot more to live for than him now. He fakes having an idea for both of them to survive by giving the guards a fake bag of marbles, only for Sly to find out that Bentley gave him the actual bag as he gave the guards the fake bag.
Player, you have been eliminated.
Jack versus Kira, and man, this is a hard one. Jack lost Axter and doesn't want to lose Kira, but she knows that the world is a safer place with him in it. Given how Jack is more driven by emotion and Kira can be capable of keeping a clear head more easily, she's gonna be able to sneakily throw the game to Jack.
Player, you have been eliminated.
Ratchet versus Miles. And okay, something's going on between Ratchet and Clank if they didn't pick each other. Ratchet and Miles may both be smart and careful heroes, but Ratchet just has way too much experience on his side to be threatened by being outskilled or outsmarted by him.
Player eliminated.
Which brings us to Clank versus Monomi. Both are robots who can be rebuilt, so it all comes down to who is more willing to sacrifice themselves. In that case, it's Monomi, hands down. She was willing to self-destruct to save her class, even if it failed. But at least Clank was able to say something to her to help her make her loss easier to swallow. It was too low that the guards weren't able to properly hear it, and Clank was able to sneakily take her AI chip to rebuild her afterwards. Something's definitely up, but the guards just can't place their finger on it.
Player, you have been eliminated.
Moving on to Sackboy versus Astro. And it's just a matter of who's more skillful here. And we think despite how crafty Sackboy can be, Astro is far more intelligent, being a robot piloting a giant PS5 spaceship and all. So he's able to outspace Sackboy in a game of marbles.
Player, you have been eliminated.
And finally, we have Kratos versus Joel. Both father figures aren't in the best mood, especially since Joel's adoptive daughter killed Kratos' son, and Kratos returned the favor. Joel was willing to kill an entire research team trying to save humanity just to save Ellie, so he wouldn't hesitate trying to push back against Kratos. Needless to say, Joel was greatly outmatched, though unfortunately, violence is not allowed in this game. So for killing Joel in a fit of rage, Kratos is also eliminated, meaning this game had no winner.
Only 8 players remain. It's time to move on to our penultimate game, Jump Rope. In this game, players must cross a dangerous bridge while making sure they aren't knocked off by a gigantic double Dutch-style jump rope. They'd best be careful, because the rope speeds up over time, and they only have 20 minutes to cross.
Unlike last stepping stones, there's no reliance on luck here. Just sheer agility, speed, and composure. You'll need courage, balance, and good timing to get through this round. People with kind hearts could help weaker players cross, but those with a more mischievous nature could easily sabotage the game to help their own chances. Now real quick, let's see who's still standing. Dr. Cortex, Raiden, Sly Cooper, the Prince of All Cosmos, Jack, Ratchet, Clank, and Astro. Now this is a platforming challenge, and over half of the remaining roster is platforming stars, but so be it. Now Cortex may not have any tools with him, but he was able to platform around easily and crash force levels, including headbutting to cross gaps, so he has this one in the bag. Still, Cortex knew his chances were slim when he knew he was the one villain left, so when he noticed Astro hopping over, he took the chance to pick him up by his antenna and sling him across the room and off the platform. The absolute audacity to fling Astrobot into the void.
Player eliminated.
Needless to say, this quickly earned him the hatred of the other players, who were able to pass. Clank just hopped onto Ratchet's back, while Jack and Sly were close behind. However, Cortex noticed just how less nimble Jack was compared to Sly, and when Jack was about to jump up to the ledge, Cortex rammed into him with a gnarly headbutt to knock him off the platform, and raced back to the end before anyone could return the favor.
Player eliminated.
Raiden was able to make it across with relative ease. And finally, the Prince, who has shown to have a Prince Hop that allows him to jump around rooms and entire continents, was able to pass as well.
6 players remain. It is now time for the final round. Prepare for our final game, Squid Game.
This game is designed for at least 4 players with at least 3 eliminations. Players press a button on each tower to begin the round, after which they'll have a set amount of time to push at least one living player off the tower. Once a player is pushed off, the others may move on to the next tower. However, many players are on the final circle-shaped tower at the end after at least one player was eliminated, will be crowned the winner or winners of the Squid Game. The remaining players can either depend on diplomacy to decide which player to gang up on, or they can just jump into a full-on brawl and see how things turn out. And we start on the square tower. And this is an interesting lineup of characters here. 5 heroes against one proud villain with Dr. Cortex, who immediately singled out the Prince of All Cosmos as the weakest one here, and got to work trying to just throw him off. However, Sly stepped between the two, with Ratchet and Clank approaching behind Cortex. Cortex, however, also noticed that Raiden was jumping at him, so he did what he did best and quickly dodged out of the way. And Raiden got too caught up in what he thought was fighting Cortex that he didn't even realize it was Sly he knocked off the stage, until he saw Cortex escaping.
Player, you have been eliminated.
With Ratchet and Clank chasing after him to the Triangle Tower. Now, Cortex is chased onto the Triangle Tower, realizing that Raiden, the Prince, Ratchet, and Clank are all left. Wanting to try and sow some confusion, Cortex comments about how bizarre it is that Ratchet and Clank managed to make it to the end, even when team games should have left at least one of them dead. When Raiden and Prince turned to double check, Cortex took the chance and lunged for the Prince to kick him off. Yeah, if the Prince survived his dad's punishments, including being shot at by lasers and hit by meteorites, Cortex is not even scratching him, and the Prince finally knocks Cortex into the void where he belongs.
Player, you have been eliminated.
And that finally brings us to the Circle Tower. At the Circle Tower, Ratchet and Clank were pressed by Raiden about how the two of them were able to stay together. Clank quietly explained himself and Ratchet's plan. He was a robot created to oversee the Great Clock with the Zoni, a place where one can travel back in time. It was limited to only being able to safely go back 6 minutes at a time to stop paradoxes, but that's more than enough time to work within these games. Originally called there by the Zoni, they heard about the Squid Games and how they kept bringing back supposedly dead characters, so they asked Ratchet and Clank to investigate. To help them, they promised to use the chamber to safely travel back 6 minutes in time whenever something catastrophic happened to them, and report to Clank using his gadget bots to help relay info to avoid death. And the guards can't even confirm that this breaks rule number 1. How are they going to know about a giant clock station in another galaxy resetting whenever Ratchet or Clank die? But still, someone has to go. So Raiden saw how powerful the prince was and demanded that he fight him to prove who was the better fighter. While Raiden is the better fighter, he's usually used to fighting giant machines or whatnot. He's never had to focus on fighting someone smaller than the tip of his sword before, let alone one capable of rolling giant balls strong enough to plug black holes. So our final elimination on the Circle Tower is Raiden.
Player, you have been eliminated.
Making Ratchet, Clank, and the Prince of All Cosmos our winners. Ratchet repaired Minomi with the AI chip Clank gave him, and gave her a cut of the money to help her stop any killing games. The Prince was able to prove his worth to his dad, and the one VIP who bet on the Prince winning made out like a bandit. Thank you again, Control Freak, for sponsoring us today. Remember to go to controlfreak.com for the best performance gaming gear, and get free shipping on orders over $25.
In the end, our winners are Ratchet, Clank, and the Prince of All Cosmos. We didn't think we needed to add a rule in saying having others literally reverse the fabric of time is against the law.